Party people, what's going on? Episode 91. What up, Spliffy? Can you hear me?
91. Yeah.
What's up,
West,
fellas?
what's the word, brother?
What's the word?
What up, Wes? What up?
Back in the office. 2023.
Happy New Year, gentlemen.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, bro. Happy New Year, Coach.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Happy New Year, Coach. How you feeling?
I'm just tired, man. So if I just doze off, don't hold it against me, man.
Nah, we have an exciting show coming up, so we're going to make sure you don't doze off, Coach. We'll keep you engaged. We need that input. You know what I'm saying? So it's episode 91. We're almost at 100. We got to plan something big for 100.
I would agree.
The century mark, you know?
I think it'd be nice to have like pop-in guests coming in, you know, have a brother like JT show his face for being the super supporter.
JT, no doubt.
Fact.
JT, if you're out there, if you can hear us, if you're watching, make sure you give me that email address, bro, so we can get you on the show. We definitely got to show you some love.
Yes, sir.
So, you know how we do it each and every week. I'm going to throw this video up. We're going to take this time to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, lock in the IZM Sports, where we kick it live and direct each and every week, keeping you up to date with what's going on in the sports world. And with that said, let's do it.
Yeah. 24 hours of peace, love, unity, safely having fun. Real hip hop for the people. It's an engagement. It's a demonstration. Using hip hop culture to get you activated. Let the people hear the bass and the vibration, the love, peace, unity, and watch them add on. It's a culture. It's not just rapping. It's not what we do. It's how we do it. We're doing it right here, Springfield Avenue, between Bergen and Plum. 24 hours straight, man. It's crazy.
We the people. The people of the culture.
Yeah, Ron Lawrence. Fire.
The hip hop culture.
Yo, we love rap.
Yes,
Love
we
it. Yeah, we do. But it's really about the culture.
Yeah, let them know how.
The realness. The culture. Yeah.
What up, man?
You know a hard head makes a soft behind. If I only knew my schoolwork like I knew them rhymes. Mom upside my head, I'm trying to memorize every line. High power rap breaks, super rhymes. Deep into the culture, didn't even know it. Young entrepreneurs spitting bars like a poet in a rush to be mature behind bars when we blow it. In the bold ass rappers too immature to outgrow it. It was more than just music, something next to breathing. I get giddy like a baby trying to spit while I'm feeding. The mic I be squeezing, dropping facts like I'm teaching. Leaking flows for the perfect beat seeking. Mama used to say, take your time, young man. But I'm trying to feel a light so you can see when I tan. I'm like one I never ran, I'm a fan but never stand. Just take it backwards to the east, X and out the clan.
Holy integrated, having omnipresent, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Holy integrated, having omnipresent, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Pueblo Unido, grassroots Steve Biko. Rule number one, never forget the people. I live that, I get back. Part all in it, no gimmicks, straight facts. From the start, I'm the light from the dark. Born from black art, knew my part. Daddy gave me, mama made me. North raised me, hip hop saved me. For the culture now, for the black and brown. Harriet Underground, sun up to sundown. Till my people get out, north to down south, spread like word of mouth. While you cowards is hooded, we battle the bullet. Black lives to the fullest. Out here to the end, stronger together, that's the day we win.
Holy integrated, having omnipresent, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Holy integrated, having omnipresent, we are.
Yeah. But no one stopped to think about about the people.
The legends before me are ones I want to get it like, but hitting quick hit different when hitting right. Mob ties, this thing of ours is birthrights. Who's next for the culture and them searchlights? Do it to it, this music, I'm trying to talk through it. Every plan on my own, I watch the lie do it. Airborne to Skiki, like a Wendell Pruitt. Trumpets blow, this song's here, melodic ruins. Think for it before they have to think for 'em. Boom bap, I talk that and live enormous. Informers when present in your boy performing, especially when them drums snap by Brian Lawrence. Doing all that poet talk of the line crosser. Mini hawk and I speak by your flying saucers. Make it worth it, I can't take no feeble offers. Signed, sealed, and delivered, and you know the offer.
Fully integrated, having omnipresent, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Wholly integrated, having omnipresent, we are. Yeah, the people.
That was Real Hip Hop for the People by your man Hakeem Green off the Aubrey album, available right now. You can go to HakeemGreen.com, HAKIMGREEM, N.com.
Green.
Green.
Hot green.
Hot green. HakeemGreen.com. Get your copy of Aubrey, entirely produced by Ron Lawrence, with features from KRS-One, Carl Thomas, Freeway, CeeLo Green, Malik Youssef, Amiri Baraka Jr., Do It All Kelly, and the wonderful G. Simone. Get that right now, folks. It's hot. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
real hip-hop.
Cop that. Cop that.
Cop that. For real. So this is episode 91. You know, Coach, last night's text message thread, what did you say? Something about it being crazy in the universe. The universe was crazy, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, man." I mean, first, I think it was Wes hits us up about Rutgers beating Purdue, who was number one, and I mean, just the whole universe went crazy, man. You know, when things like that happen. Then, of course, the Buffalo Bills Bengals game. Donnell Hamlin, his situation, never seen before. Donovan Mitchell, 71 points in the game.
Five people over 40.
Yeah, LeBron, what, 47?
47.
Yeah.
47.
So,
no, 47 the other night. I think 43 last night.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
You know, it was just a crazy night in sports.
Klay Thompson had what, 54?
54.
54. Yeah. A couple of those college football games was just nuts.
That USC game was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, you know, let's talk about brother Hamlin. You know what I mean? DeMar Hamlin.
Yep.
That Buffalo Cincinnati game last night. A huge matchup to decide AFC standings. Had major ramifications. The winner of that game, which was postponed halfway through the first quarter because brother DeMar Hamlin, who plays defense for the Buffalo Bills, went to make a tackle on what's his receiver's name for Cincinnati?
What was it? T. Higgins? Ty Higgins?
Higgins.
It was T. Higgins, yeah.
130 pounds. But first, let me say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it seemed like Cincinnati was really bringing the heat that entire first quarter. Like, they were out there sticking.
They're aggressive. They were definitely tackling and running with aggression.
They had a tight end. They have a tight end who pulled and had a kick out block on a safety, and he kicked this dude all the way out. I was like, man. And then I see a few other hits and then you see this this hit, this tackle by Damar Hamlin, which seemed, at first glance to be like nothing. It just regular tackle. You see this 100 times every week in the NFL. And for whatever reason, I guess it triggered a cardiac arrest. The impact, the force of receiver running into Hamlin, or Hamlin, him running into the contact, just a freak accident, and he went into cardiac arrest, and it was a very, very scary moment. If you guys want to elaborate, talk about what you saw from your vantage point.
Sometimes with hits, if you just hit the right spot on the body, it can cause that reaction. And this looked like what happened, because after the hit, he actually stood
right up.
That's to me what made it so scary.
Yeah.
But just seeing the emotion, and it's almost like, and I get it's TV, like I just think they should have gone away from it, like just focusing, cameras on the field for those 15 minutes or whatever.
It was like 20-25 minutes.
It was,
like they were trying to eat up. See, it's a weird situation, because advertisers are advertisers,
right?
And advertisers pay for that time, so you can't, just throw to something else, because you got to satisfy the advertisers.
Yeah, I mean, if they just went to the studio, I would have been happier. I mean, and they finally did, but it was so far after the fact.
Yeah, well, I know when they went to the studio, you could tell Booker McFarland.
Yeah,
he was not trying to talk about it.
No,
he wasn't trying to. He kept, listen, I don't even know why we're talking about this. Yeah, I don't know why we the only thing that we should be concerned with is this young man's health.
And I think the best thing I saw,
speculation. We don't know. Like, he tried to handle it as best he could.
Yeah,
but
it's like you got to fill up airtime.
Airtime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw in real time, the human element of it. You know what I'm saying? And in regards to it being a heart attack, it was something that could happen to any of us, like Coach just said. I mean, the exact right time, that hit or whatever, or it could be unrelated to none of that, based on, just, and I'm telling you that from experience, because I was diagnosed with a heart condition, which I have, which I'm now, take medication for and have a implanted defibrillator, but that wasn't detected until I was, over 40 years old, and we're talking about just randomly detected. So, I mean, a lot of people, I say all that to say that, a lot of people have heart conditions that they're just unaware of, or just things that could happen with the heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing, with as violent of a sport as football is, and as much coverage of the sport we get, that something like this, didn't happen sooner. To be honest with you, I'm hoping the kid's all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping, we did get to see at least a response, and everybody did their job. It wasn't tragic, and he's still in a position to hopefully, not pass away from this. So we'll see.
Obviously, you're talking about Damar Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got any thoughts?
No, I mean, I think the emergency response team got out there as soon as they could. They administered CPR the best way they knew how, as fast as they could. I mean, but we gotta still recognize that man was on that field like that for at least 12 minutes, right? And so his recovery, vital signs are one thing, but his football playing days could potentially be done. And, outside of that, they put him in a medically induced coma for reasons, But if he's taken out of it, who's to say his brain will react properly going forward? So there's so many issues. So it goes right back to the NFL, their response time in terms of canceling the game is another story. But I think the real story should be really DeMar Smith what's his name? Not Hamlin.
DeMar Hamlin.
No, the players union rep.
DeMaurice Smith.
DeMaurice Smith. DeMaurice needs to be fired, along with every other legal person as a part of the football union, and these football players should not play another down until they have guaranteed contracts. That's just really it. I mean, it doesn't change what can happen, but the fact that these guys go out there every week and they play without guarantees is ridiculous with the sport, especially when baseball and basketball and hockey players get guaranteed deals, and football, which is the most volatile, and these guys have no guarantees, and we keep just protecting one position. You know what I mean? So you can't just protect the quarterback and not protect all these guys equally. And we're talking about pay equity. That should be a part of it too. I mean, I know the quarterbacks throw the ball, but quarterbacks don't win. They don't win Super Bowls by themselves. Period. So for me, it just goes to show you that these owners need to be held accountable, because the dollar is more powerful than human life in their minds, right? And that's why they need to be guaranteed money in football.
Yeah, I think this is going to set definitely something in motion.
Yeah, they would not be doing their job, Coach. I mean, DeMaurice Smith They have to be aggressive with this situation.
Because this kid was, it was what, his second year?
DeMaurice or this kid?
The kid.
The kid is in his second year. He just graduated from Pitt 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, so even if this did not happen, say he was just playing and
it doesn't make a difference.
He doesn't get a pension,
nothing. And that's a travesty. These guys should have guaranteed deals. They should have lifetime medical care. Whether as soon as they get into the NFL, it should be a lifetime medical guarantee that they get
health
insurance, right? They should get that guaranteed for a life after their life of football. Once you become an NFL player, health care for life. Period.
Yeah, and it should be something that's substantial, because if you heard Dominique Foxworth, who used to be part of Players Union, talk, he basically said that he was fighting for, in addition to a lot of things, healthcare, which leads me to believe that it's suspect. It's certainly underfunded.
It's underfunded, man. They're playing Ponzi games with those dudes when it comes to healthcare, because corporate companies do the same thing with healthcare. So what makes the NFL any different? And the NFL, they're gonna know more. Those owners know more loopholes than the next man, right? Yeah. So my thing is the healthcare and guaranteed contracts for all is we don't even come to the table without that.
Yeah.
Their money's no different than NBA money, owners' money, and Major League Baseball money. They're making money hand over fist. The fact that they only want to pay the quarterback, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And they actually, even to the money point, they're probably actually making more.
They are.
The stadiums and what those fit is double, sometimes triple.
They're at 65 to 100,000 in football.
Yep.
Baseball is up to 55,000. So they exceed baseball by 10 and then add another 25,000 people.
Plus, they have a hard salary cap.
Right.
Come on, man.
And just to add on to what Coach just mentioned, many of these stadiums are paid for through tax dollars.
Yes.
So these are really basically publicly funded operations that are pooling again from the public, because got to pay attention. Like, we are the commodity.
Yeah.
We produce the resource that funds this league that's worth billions of dollars, right? Mm-hmm. It's pulling from a resource, but then there's no mechanism to support that resource. It's like when they're done with you, they dismiss you. They keep it moving, and you've invested literally your life. As we see with the young brother who's given his life on the field of play. Literally, it's rare to see something this tragic, but this is this could happen each and every play.
Yeah.
Like this could happen anytime.
That's the reality of it.
And that's the scary part. And I think this is the first time players really, I think it's in the back of their mind, but they never, in the moment they're not thinking about it. I think it's there now.
That's what I'm saying. The time is right for them to make changes to their players agreement.
Yeah.
It's right there right now. Like this is the opportunity. You don't have another time.
You don't squander this and let another tragedy like this happen. And once again, Hakeem, your man Skip.
What did he say today?
Well, I did want to get into that.
Okay.
But let me preface it first.
What did he say?
By reading the actual comment. It was last night when it all happened, after it transpired and, it was up in the air whether they were going to continue the game. Skip tweeted real quick, "No doubt the NFL is considering the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." So he tried to cover his ass when he said, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. I think people missed that part. But the point he was making is like, Skip too soon. Like, all right, first things first. Let's see what's good with this young man first.
Yeah.
And then move on from there. And he caught a lot of flack on social media. So today on Undisputed, there was no Shannon.
Really?
Shannon,
I didn't see it today.
Shannon didn't go to work today. Basically, Shannon left Skip there to deal with it on his own.
Wow.
It was really weird. Really, you could tell Skip was really uncomfortable.
Wow.
He did the entire show by himself, 9:30 to 12. He was there by himself, and of course, the sister, the moderator, I forget what her name is. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, so many people were calling for him to be fired.
It was bad.
It was
wow.
Really, it was bad. After what he did to Shannon a couple weeks ago,
right.
To follow it up with this, I mean, the feedback on social media was Skip needs to be fired.
Yeah.
And when Shannon didn't show, it was good. He left him there to deal with it himself. Good for you, Shannon.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Bravo to Shannon Sharp. Bravo.
Oh yeah. Now, that said, we do a show weekly every Tuesday, right? And we try to be on time, 7 p.m. Sometimes I screw up technical difficulties and we don't launch exactly at 7. But I pride myself and I pride the show with maintaining a consistent, like we're there for our fan base. JT, my man. You gotta have content. You gotta talk about it. You gotta you can't. You say, I don't want to use that analogy, but the show don't stop.
Right.
You gotta keep it moving. So, in fairness to Skip, just to play the other side, he's a broadcaster. He's a journalist. He's a content creator. He's an entertainer.
Yeah.
His livelihood depends on that. He can't not come to work tomorrow. And Shannon didn't show up, but the Skip, you got to have a show. If you don't go to work, you can't. So I don't. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I agree with what you said about you have to go to work and the show must go on, and because you make sure that this one maintains its regular scheduled programming every week, and that's commendable. Because 91, who would think like a year ago, make a phone call, and 91 shows later, here we are, right, and it's consistently every week. But Skip's situation is a bit tenuous because although he's all those things you mentioned, Shannon has a platform outside of that show. Shannon can fall back on a lot of other things because Shannon didn't create himself based on the backs of others, right? Whereas Skip's whole existence is based on criticizing people that look like everybody on this panel.
Yeah.
And he can't get on a podcast and do this.
Yep.
Because no one on this panel is gonna watch that. Everybody turns on Undisputed to watch him and Shannon. They as a pair, it's like watching Laverne and Shirley, and when Shirley wasn't there no more, nobody was watching that show no more.
Well, in fairness to Skip,
yeah,
you should watch it when you get a chance. I'm not, whatever.
I'm sure he did a good job.
Yeah, he did a great job. Like,
yeah, I'm sure
having done last week for an hour and I was basically by myself.
Yeah,
you gotta run your mouth and you gotta talk. You have to deliver in a way that you're eating up time because you're used to sharing 50% of the thing with somebody else.
Yep.
Or in this case, a quarter of the time with other folks. You gotta pace yourself. You gotta deliver in a certain way. He had to cover his ass because he screwed up the night before.
You and Skip were on the stage for this. You couldn't maintain that week after week without content, right? So Skip needs another partner.
Yes.
People aren't interested in Skip Bayless. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So this week was different because it was unexpected. But he can't have an Undisputed show without another partner. No one's going to watch that. That doesn't sell.
Based on what happened with Shannon previously, I think it is the nail in the coffin where Shannon, because he has the other platforms, might be like, hey, I'm done.
Yeah. And I hate to come off like I'm caving for the white man.
Yeah. No, you're not.
No,
I understand you're playing both sides.
Yeah, but Shannon having access to Skip's platform, because like JT just said, Skip and Stephen A had a show. Like Skip as a journalist personality has his own. He's created a nice niche for himself. It's not dependent upon Shannon per se, but that I know the point you're making in terms of he still needs black athletes to get his.
He needs a black alpha voice.
Right.
That's what he needs. He doesn't necessarily have to have an athlete. He needs to have another strong black voice that people want to hear from and people kind of respect, because they're going to tune in for them, and see what they say to keep him in line. No one really wants to. I don't think he can go on a show by himself and maintain a platform for that long. No one's going to tolerate him without another personality.
Right. He needs the adversary. He needs like you said, the strong black voice. Him basically going, and Skip says a lot of things for shock value, which is why he said what he said, which is a huge point that is going to be very, very interesting how the NFL handles all this stuff as far as the scheduling, as far as the playoffs, a lot of things. I mean,
that's okay though. The NFL can figure this out, right? By using logic and human empathy. They can still play this game, right? The NFL is $1 billion industry, and people are gonna still watch if they push the playoff back another week and let Buffalo and Cincinnati play on a Monday night before the playoffs, before the first Sunday. They'll do that. They can do whatever they want to do.
It'll be the most watched game ever.
Yeah.
Period. And then the ratings you're going to get with Buffalo, people are going to all be Buffalo fans for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, the NFL going to figure it out. You don't have to worry about that. They
will.
And I mean, just Buffalo has had some issues this year anyway, just with weather issues. I think it was last week they got back. They all had to dig their cars out, in order to get home. So they've been having this issue, and they've been trying to build Buffalo up as this Super Bowl contender anyway.
Yeah.
That's been a push this whole season. With Josh Allen, as this quarterback stud, quarterback. So, they've been going in that direction anyway with Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, they'll be the fan favorite now.
Absolutely. They're gonna be the everybody favorite. You're gonna have officials not gonna hold flags because it's Buffalo.
But let's get back to the human element of it, though. Are they really going to be able to recover from this? Because this doesn't look.
That's the other part. Yeah,
this does not look good.
No.
And the way it looks, even at its best, is gruesome and a black eye for the league as far as just for it to be so public and to be shown like this. But I mean, can that team really recover from that?
It's not even a team thing, though. I mean, I definitely think you're 100% right, Cliff. I just think it's a NFL player thing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's
I
going to
mean-
hurt a lot of the teams playing on this weekend. You know, do you hit people the way you normally hit? Are you as aggressive in pursuit of tackling? You know, this is going to affect everything because you're in the back of your mind. You're thinking, yeah, this could happen to me.
It could be anybody. He didn't have a condition.
No.
You would think so, right? But just playing football on a high school level, seeing football on a Division III national championship, you know, watching it as a spectator, seeing the gladiator element in professional sports, to see the adrenaline, the charge, the like jokers going to NFL, you know, in the moment, yeah, it's devastating. People see it, right? But what's my man who Darryl Stingley and who was
Jack Tatum.
Jack Tatum.
Yeah.
Like with Burfict from Cincinnati when he was like that mentality. Crazed Dogs, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Like there's football players are very
they're a different breed.
It literally is they're a different breed. Thank you, Coach. They're a different breed. They, you know, I don't know if it's an unfortunate because that's part of why we watch it. That's the entertainment of it. You want to see the hit. You want to see the collision. You want everybody to walk up afterward. But, you know, it doesn't surprise you when you see some football player lay on the ground and do snow angels on the ground while the quarterback is in pain right next to him. That was, you know, he crushed dude. What, Matt Ryan cracked his rib, or he's writhing in pain on the field, and this dude for a long period of time is doing snow angels. And then after he knows that this guy's hurt, he's on the sideline. He's doing gestures, like, you know, that's not a one-off. That's like kind of, I think, the prevailing mentality of the average football player.
But I think this is a little different because like people have been paralyzed and people have been injured right during a hit, but I don't think anyone has seen anyone potentially die on a football field, right? And it was a normal hit. It wasn't anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a regular hit, and you know, for someone to die, like usually you get the thumbs up, and that means keep on fighting, boys, right? That's the sign you get the thumbs up. There was no thumbs up. And it might not be a thumbs up.
And he was resuscitated on the field.
And
you know,
that's the part I think
that makes it a little different.
And all of them saw that.
Yeah.
You saw the faces of them grown men. You saw the faces of them gladiators. Yeah. I mean, you saw the tears. You saw they saw it. They saw a dude fight for his life, and they saw a dude, maybe he was breathing when he left the field, but he wasn't conscious.
You play for somebody, right? When we always see the movies, right? Or when a guy gives a thumbs up or a guy breaks a bone and he's getting carted off and the crowd cheers, they see a person breathing. They see a person living, and that means he can return, right? And when they're paralyzed, they give the thumbs up, which means he's still mentally solid and he can still be spoken to as a brother or a fellow gladiator. Let's go fight for our brother, right? Yeah. This is a little bit more tenuous, I think.
Yeah, because he was just put into the ambulance.
Yeah.
You know?
And the scarier part is they haven't said anything, like really, like over the last 24 hours. And then they made the announcement last night, which I was like, wow, this is serious. They were like, we won't get another update this evening.
Right.
Don't even, and then I went online this morning at like 7 a.m. It was nothing. And when you look at like most of the news feeds, they keep that same picture up saying he suffered a cardiac arrest. And that was like 9, 10, 12, 14, 15 hours ago in terms of the news cycle. There's the fact that they don't want to say anything, it just shows you that he's not in a good place.
That normally means he's actually on life support.
Yeah, he's on life support.
It's and it's a little from what I heard procedure where they I guess they freeze you up a little bit and then they warm you down.
Yeah.
So in that whole process, and they had to do that, I guess, because of how long it took them to resuscitate him or whatever. But that whole second process is anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. So when he comes back out, I guess that's when they'll be able to diagnose exactly the damages.
Yeah,
which,
where his brain function is and everything.
yeah.
One of the gentlemen on ESPN earlier was saying he coached football in Florida. No, I'm sorry, not football. Lacrosse, and a kid was hit in the chest with a lacrosse ball.
Yeah, I heard that story.
And had a heart attack.
Well, I bet cardiac arrest is different from a heart attack. I've been taught.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But these are the freak things
cardiac
that we're saying. If your body gets hit in certain areas, it could trigger certain reactions that we never think about.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with football. They think about every other kind of injury, but not that. When they're literally, it's like running into a wall at like 60 miles per hour.
Car crash, every hit.
Car crash, every hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and his was textbook, right? Because NFL has banned anybody using their helmet as a spear, because they used to spear you into the chest, right?
Yes.
And knock you down.
But that's not what happened.
And I know that's not what happened. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you even think about the hit itself, if I'm a football player and I look at that hit again, yeah, I'm a gladiator. But guess what? I'm gonna look at that hit and it's like, yo, that was textbook. And look what happened. So that could happen to anybody on any play.
They don't want you to spear, right?
Yeah.
So you come in chest forward, like he's like as you duck your shoulder, but that dude right there, he's so big, 230-pound receiver running full speed ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, it's
deep.
It's a fluke, but it's amazing it doesn't happen more when you consider it.
Right.
Yeah, all these.
Well, if you think about, say, martial arts, they know how to hit you in certain areas where that actually would happen.
Yeah.
Usually with the two fingers, hit you right in the chest, boom, you done. So it's just a really sad situation. But Wes, like you said, the Players Association really have to get on their job right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Cliff, you had mentioned earlier, in terms of standings, what this Buffalo Cincinnati game does. What are some of the possible scenarios?
That's just it. I'm trying to even. I can't even, and no one's even really speculating, but I don't even know how they're even going to do this because there's three teams involved: Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. Now, I think the easiest thing to do maybe is just give them both a tie and not play the game. Right. Because they've already announced that they're not playing the game this week. They're not rescheduled for this week. So they're going to potentially play this 18th week 18 schedule as normal, which makes sense. Okay, so what happens at the end of that? I mean, who's the number one seed? Because you're talking about affecting three different seeds. Now, there is that week in between the playoffs and the Super Bowl and the championship game, so they can push everything back a week. So that's another possibility, but it's huge ramifications. I mean, you can't. Nothing can be decided.
Yeah, I mean, even if they gave him a tie, it would be like if they gave him a tie right now. Kansas City is 13-3, I believe it is, right? Or are they 12-4? Kansas City. I think Kansas City's 13-3. Buffalo is 12-3.
12-3.
And Cincinnati's 11-4, right? So they were both playing their 16th game, and Kansas City's already 13-3, right? So if you gave them both a tie, Buffalo would be 12-3-1, and Cincinnati would be 11-4-1. So even if Buffalo and Cincinnati won their last game, Buffalo won their last game, they will be 12, they'll be 13-3-1, right? Cincinnati could be 12-4-1, and Kansas City would have to lose in order for them to fall out of it. So they'd be a full game ahead. So that even the tie kind of affects both those teams in a negative way, in terms of catching Kansas City. It would give Kansas City an advantage. So I don't think giving them a tie is going to end up working. They're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to figure out something else.
Yeah, no matter what happens, the team is disadvantaged because if you play an extra week, even though they didn't play a whole game, you're still playing an extra game.
Yeah.
Well,
they
played 8
almost
minutes.
a quarter.
They played 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you almost played a quarter, but you prepared all week.
Yeah.
And then you started the game, you played a quarter. I mean, you're playing an extra
It's
week.
a game because you're mentally preparing for that one game.
Right.
So
and that's another thing. Do they start it from scratch or do they start it same conditions, same time on the clock, same score?
Yeah. It's going to be a tough one. The only thing I think could parallel to this, and which goes back to Hakeem's point about them being who they are, is I think the only difference is Hank Gathers dying on the basketball court would be different only for the fact that he had heart problems. So his teammates went out and played, for him and his family, but none of them had to worry about that happening to them because they didn't have the heart problem like he had.
Right.
He had a specific problem.
Yeah.
So they were able to, galvanize themselves and go out there and get to the Final Four, the final game, based on that. Like that was something to play for.
Yeah,
even though they lost their brother, it was different. This one right here
could happen to anyone.
It could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because in football, the object of the game is to lay a joke out. Like the object is to like that's the object of it.
Yeah, I
like,
get it.
That's
I
the
get
point. In basketball, there's no, there's physical contact. Basketball is a contact sport, but that's not why you set out to play.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm saying
this is going to change a lot. I mean,
football player on defense, especially, you have this edge of I really want to hurt somebody.
Yep.
You just do. I told Cliff about a story when I was in school at in Staten Island. John Chaney, strong safety, put the wood on this dude from LIU, coming across the middle, caught the ball. He went to go juke, and the juke left him in the air, and John just and I was able to see the film later that week, and dude's back of his helmet touched his behind. Left the field in an ambulance.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was like dude was messed up. They said he went to bathroom on himself. Like it was
Yeah.
And people still play. Like you still play. For me, that was a sign, Hakeem, you can't play anymore.
This ain't for me.
That also shows you,
this ain't for me.
Not at all.
Yeah, that shows you what some of the situations these young men come from, that they're willing to put themselves and their body through it, knowing that those things that you're talking about can happen, not what happened to Hamlin.
Yeah.
But those kind of things can happen.
It's a part of the game.
It's a part of the game.
Like people are training to hurt you.
Yeah.
Like people are training in the gym. They're doing all types of with the focal point of.
Yeah.
Well, think about this though. I have no idea if it's going to happen, but don't sleep on the fact that there are colleges that they're trying to create an NCAA flag football league, right?
They got it here in Jersey and high school now.
Yeah, and they also are playing a flag football game at the Pro Bowl now.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that that's what's coming, but
no, it's coming.
You don't know. It might be there. That might be where the game goes.
Yeah. It's coming because of the ramifications of getting hit and what the toll is taking on people's bodies, and in Jersey now in high school, they have flag football is one of the sports now. I never thought I would see that.
Yeah.
All right, so you got the NFL, you got college football. Now you got the USFL,
You got XFL too.
XFL coming.
XFL. We had arena football.
Yeah.
You got Canadian football.
Got Canadian football.
European football. NFL Europe.
Right. Capitalism and the market demand kind of dictates what you're gonna get. Unfortunately, like I don't know how you have a product. Football is a product. Professional football is a product.
Yep.
And the market's gonna, if you change the game, you're gonna lose the fan base.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, let's look at the things we've seen in basketball that they've taken away, put back over time. They took the dunk out of basketball. They put it back. There wasn't a 3-point shot.
They added.
Now there is. Games change. Football is one of those games that really hasn't changed much outside of, like Wes said earlier, protecting the quarterback.
And trying to make it, safer, basically.
Yeah. So now this would just be another way of doing that. And they don't have the product, the resources like you talk about all the time, Hawk, coming into the fold. Because now kids aren't playing, they're just not playing youth football like they used to. It's the lowest numbers in all of youth sports.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are playing soccer. They're playing lacrosse now. They're playing everything but.
Hey, big shout out to Coach Williamson.
Yes.
What up, Nut?
Yeah,
What's up, Nut?
He makes the point, man. Those numbers are really low of youth football.
But if you look at it, though, the product is only getting better. But there's going to be a seismic shift in ultimately how football is affected, and I'm talking about 4 to 8 to 10 years down the road, because the NCAA is changing in itself. NIL. Then you talk about now with what the ramifications of this, which I think is going to be it's going to be a lot. I think they're going to have to do something, because this is real and everybody saw it. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that's interesting about this right now is with the youth numbers diminishing. Normally it's those who come from the impoverished backgrounds that we see playing, that are really, carrying that dream forward, trying to get to the NFL. But because of the expense of the game and, all those things that come with having, you got to have the right equipment, you got to have the right coaching. If you don't have all that stuff, especially in impoverished areas where this is sometimes their only way out, the game is just going to change. It has to change.
Mm-hmm.
There's no choice, because suburban white kids are not playing football. That's the difference. And with basketball, most of your players, even your black kids, most of your players in basketball come from the suburbs.
Okay. What's NFL's TV numbers this year?
I'm sure they're great.
Yeah, one game just set a record two weeks ago. I know that.
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't the Dallas game set a record?
Was it that game? Was it? I thought it was a Giants game or something. But I know it was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. NFL game set a record. So viewership is up.
Yeah.
Football is hot.
I mean,
people watch.
The talent pool is,
it's diminishing.
Inextinguishable. It's a steady talent pool, and the viewership is not going anywhere. So you got something to sell. The question is, how are they going to sell it?
I think there's going to be an option.
I don't know how you take the contact out of football.
You don't.
Flags on the quarterback, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's going to be. I think you're going to have several leagues, and they're all going to be different. One is going to be just what we know as regular football. One might be flag football. One might be you can't tackle the quarterback. I just think we'll see different.
But as long as you have this thing that we're saying has to change, like that thing itself has to change, because we just watched this tragic thing occur. Everybody in front of
but do you know? I think to Wes's point, what's going to change is the fact that it's just going to be more guaranteed contracts and more, better health care and better whatever. But
That's
the product of football, I don't think is going to change too much.
Yeah, they have to do that.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They're going to have to now protect these players.
Yeah,
all of the players.
Yeah,
and that ties into them spending more money, or basically owners losing more money.
Yeah, but they're getting. I mean, when you look at take the starting quarterbacks out of it, right? A guy again like Chase Daniels, who's a lifetime backup, has made more money than some of your star players in the league that play other positions.
Oh yeah,
that makes no sense.
Yep.
That's not even feasible. So you get a quarterback that's been in the league for 11 years, 12 years as a backup, and has accumulated 65 to 70 million in contracts as a backup, and probably played like 5 games. And you got cornerbacks, DNs, wide receivers that don't even have contracts that make $75 million.
That might be an equity lawsuit, I think, in any other.
Yeah, it is. It's just ridiculous. And so that's the kind of stuff that the players union, I just don't, I think everybody here, what I said, I don't think is rocket science. I don't think that I'm smarter than anybody to figure that out. Why isn't the players union doing that? I just don't understand how they can allow this inequity amongst the players in their own league continue. Yeah. It just makes no sense.
Because they've been sold and they have the belief that the quarterback is the most important position and should get paid more.
But it's even with that, it goes back to my point, how they treated even the black quarterbacks. Because again, you got a guy like Lamar Jackson who hasn't been paid yet.
Yep.
And Josh Allen and all these other guys get paid. And we keep standing back they'll get their money. That's not good enough. They need to get their money the way these other guys are getting their money.
And we're about to see it again with Jalen Hurts. We're about to see it again.
Yeah. It's it's a broken record. It's not even again, why? And I think this is the problem that I have even with sports media, because again, I don't think that we're any brighter than anybody that's on these shows, but they will never talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I will say Geno Smith just got $1 million bonus for getting 4,000 yards.
Oh, good for Geno.
So,
good for Geno. But like a Brock Purdy, he's played 5 games and it already got him down as Wally Pipp.
Well, that's Hakeem Green. Hakeem Green put him down as the next Brady.
No, what I said was this: that they have a system.
Yes.
The quarterback works well within a system.
Hey, I'm happy the way he's playing.
I think Brock Purdy isn't a system, but if you look at it, a guy like Trey Lance does not fit in that system.
No,
he looks like a shell of himself because he's not allowed to be who he is, which is more dynamic.
We don't know. We never got to really understand who Trey Lance is.
I know, but when you watch any of his highlights, when you saw him play, he looked uncomfortable because it's a structured system for people like Garoppolo to look good in, for people like Brock Purdy to look good in, for guys like Matt Ryan to look good in. Matt Ryan has not looked good with any other coordinator but Kyle Shanahan. So
it's minimal athleticism.
Yes, it's a pocket passer.
But got you, and it works, right?
Yeah, I'm not criticizing.
Well, listen, no quarterback looks bad in Kyle Shanahan's system. The intrigue of Trey Lance is the fact of his athleticism taking it to another level. Now, the fact that he hasn't looked like squad is because he hasn't played, yo.
Right.
He hasn't played.
Dude played what? 3 college games in the past 3 years.
Well, he wasn't ready last year.
And he's not ready this year.
He's not ready.
He's sort of.
I mean, you look at it.
He just had another surgery. He just
had to have surgery.
He just had another surgery. But while he was there this year, he didn't look good.
He didn't look good.
No, he didn't
look good. Garoppolo came in and he's limited, but he looked good in the system.
In that system, that's what I'm not saying.
I was not hyping Purdy up to say, he's the But within that system,
he's good.
He looks good.
He looks really good. And I think that those type of players fit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm like, looking at 49ers and how they started off, and then the questions around the quarterback position all year. Garoppolo come in and do what they did. That defense is what it is. And these guys have dominating the NFC like this. Like, and Purdy comes in and he's on point.
Purdy's not running the ball. He's not being athletic.
Nope.
And so my point is, Kyle Shanahan's system works, but it works for those quarterbacks who have limited mobility, but can throw the football around the field a little bit. Even though Garoppolo don't have the arm that Purdy has. Purdy has better arm than Garoppolo, period. Yep. He can make more throws than Garoppolo can. But it suits their skill set. So that's great. I just see Trey Lance looking uncomfortable because he can't just be a under center, drop back, and hand it off. And he's really not an RPO guy either.
Let me ask you a question. When did you see Trey Lance ever play comfortable?
I didn't.
Never.
That's the point.
But I saw him look good in college, right? I think a lot of it has to do with
a handful of games, and he got hurt, and it wasn't over no long extended period of time.
It's more than just what I'm saying in terms of Kyle Shanahan. It's also a product of him playing the same competition that Carson Wentz played in college, and he doesn't look good in the NFL. The speed of the game. It's not just the system that he's in, it's also the speed of the NFL game and the NCAA game versus the NCAA 1A, whatever that was that him and Wentz played in. Because Wentz was the same high pick as well, and he's just about to get out the league.
Purdy just looks.
I know Purdy was the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, but Purdy was a 4-year starter.
He was a 4-year starter. That's what I'm saying.
And
North
the
Dakota
Big
State
Ten
is not the same competition. They play teams like whatever the NIA. I don't know what those teams play.
State.
But they don't play in the NCAA. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So the speed of the game and the talent around them is different. That's all.
Not to mention the fact that he only played one season in that.
Yeah,
and then
one season there.
After that season, he had the COVID year, played one game, and then he got drafted. So he just hasn't played a lot of football.
He hasn't played enough football.
I got that, but whatever contributes to winning is the kind of like.
Oh no! Again, I'm not mad at Kyle Shanahan.
Okay, all right, whatever it is, we win it. It's not like they didn't try to win with Trey Lance. It's just
I didn't say
whatever
that.
reason it's not working.
Yeah, Brock Purdy played 5 games, and he's going to be compensated accordingly very quickly. That's my whole point.
That's it, right.
That's my point. It has nothing to do with Trey Lance's situation. It's just that Brock Purdy looks better in his situation, just like Garoppolo looked. But then you go back to Trey Lance. I mean, not back to Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan looked good in this system. Yep. With Kyle Shanahan. So
you're right. Purdy is going to. Well, first of all, they're going to get rid of the Garoppolo money.
Yeah.
And, Purdy's going to get some of that.
Yeah. That $5 million. Just put it this way: Brock Purdy got drafted last, but he won't have the Dak Prescott 6-year contract that he have to play for.
Nah. He'll get hit off.
Got 5 games. Won't be 5 years.
He'll probably get hit off. Not this year coming. The following year he'll get hit.
It was like a 15, 25 to 25.
If they get to the playoffs next year, then he gonna lock him in.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah. So okay, that's that. There's some other exciting things happening in the sports universe. Donovan Mitchell put up 71 against who they play?
Cleveland played
Chicago.
And
it you know what? Yeah, he got 71, but tying the game to send it into overtime, that was a phenomenal play. Missing that free.
And I think that gave him like what 50, 51.
Yeah, that was like 50 something.
Yeah, and it was a beyond phenomenal play because he missed it on purpose.
Yep.
Got the rebound, got the putback, and that actually tied it up. It was.
I don't know if I've ever seen, and like he was on today on NBA Today, and that's a play they actually worked on. He said in Utah, and it finally worked.
Well, how about he had 10 assists as well?
Yes.
Yeah, and 8 boards.
And 8 boards.
All right, so what's more impressive? Luka's 60
Triple
what,
double.
20. What are you 60?
60, 20, and
10.
11.
Or 11, yeah.
Yeah.
21 and 11.
60, 21, and 11, yeah.
Or Donovan Mitchell 71, 10 and 8.
I think they're both impressive. I don't want to
I can't
diminish
take
what
one
either
over
one
the
of them
other.
did. I think they're both phenomenal. You don't see either one of them every day. Both of them are good players, man. They just gotta get to that next. Neither one of them been far in the postseason.
And both of them came in wins, and both of them, I think
Yeah.
both of them came in overtime too, didn't
Both
they?
came in overtime.
Went
Yeah.
to overtime.
And both win the overtime off a missed shot off a free throw.
Yes.
Yep, that player tipped in. Yeah, it was. They earned those.
It was dope.
They were
both-
balling.
The 20 rebounds and 11 assists is so goddamn awesome.
21
And
rebounds.
He is the point guard on that team.
Yeah.
Say again?
He's the point guard. I mean, 20 rebounds for a point guard, you know.
And still dish 10 assists.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
That's amazing. So you had that. Clay lit up for 54.
54 yesterday.
And he needed that game.
He needed that bit in a worse way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like the way they talk about Clay these days, man.
I love Clay Thompson, but he needed a good game. He was
yeah.
Real talk. He wasn't playing good.
Yeah.
He
Well,
looked a step slower.
they won 5 in a row, and they're finally winning some games because they're still right now. I think they're the 10th seed.
Yeah, how many of those games were on the road that they won?
Oh, I don't think any of them. Maybe one.
Yeah,
because they have a league best 17-2 home record, but on
you
the
can't
road,
beat them in their spot.
I think on the road they're like 3-15 or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
they're just not good on the road. Like they lose to everybody on the road.
Upside down. That's crazy. And then
before you go to your dude.
Come on now. Come on.
Let's talk about my man Kyrie's putback.
All right. Well, no, we got to talk about Kyrie and KD in the last 15 games.
Well, they 13 in a row, right?
12
in a row.
12 in a row. But 16 out of 17. So
and
they balling.
Kyrie has come back. They haven't lost.
No, they haven't.
Yeah. You know, initially I was thinking they like a real, a solid big man away. But I don't know. They might be ready, dude.
Well, Claxton put on some beef. He put on some poundage, but no, they need some beef off the bench. I think. I mean, yeah, they can string together a win, but to go through the gauntlet of a playoff, I think they need a couple more bodies because Boston is for real. Boston ain't going nowhere, and they got that experience from last year, so they know what it's about.
And
so
Milwaukee got Lopez, who is just a really big, solid center that's problems for Claxton to guard, and even with Boston, they got Williams and Horford, both different, but they're difficult for Claxton to guard.
Boston is tough for Brooklyn because they got Boston not only like they got two guys that can guard Durant. Yeah. And
physical
Jason Tatum is that rare, one of the handful of guys that want to guard Durant, and then I'm gonna give Durant 40. That's the mentality that you got about 10 players in the league that do that, right? They want the matchup, and then they still get theirs, right? Mm-hmm. And then you got Marcus Smart, who played against Kyrie all the time.
Yeah.
And he's a good defender. So not that he can stop Kyrie, but he can get in his way enough to frustrate Kyrie. So they have the pieces that would cause, I think, the Nets some problems.
Yeah, they're just so physical.
Yeah,
and that's the Nets' Achilles. So the Nets do need to make a trade to get some physicality. Who that'll be, I don't know. But they
got Boogie still out there. In the body.
Yep.
I think Boogie's a good body for what they need.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're
like
gonna need some beef and experience.
He could play out in the perimeter
Yep.
and
Can
clear
hit the
that middle,
three.
keep that middle clean for
Mhm.
Durant and Kyrie to attack the basket. You don't really have to give him in the post, and he'll bang down low.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What about Crowder?
No, the Nets are right there. I think they're game and a half out of first.
Yeah.
2 games out of first.
Wow. Who's in first? Milwaukee?
No, Boston.
Boston? Oh, Boston.
Boston.
Okay.
Boston.
Yeah.
I think Milwaukee is a game behind the Nets now. I mean,
Okay.
rattling off 12 in a row is impressive, and they beating who they supposed to beat, and they don't look like they slowing down. And the team, they solid. And then, like Kyrie said the other day, if they can stay healthy.
Yep. And they've been doing it without Harris.
Yeah.
How many times we've been saying that for 3 years?
Yeah. He's not there. And he's another scorer who's supposed to be able to shoot the ball, but he's not there.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, KD's leadership actually stepped up a great deal.
Coach,
once
I gotta
he
say,
got rid of Nash, that showed a lot.
We gonna say
I was
what?
gonna tell you, Coach. I was gonna say to Coach, Joe Harris is a shooter, not a scorer.
Indeed.
He's
a shots.
He can have. He has a shot.
in.
He does have a shot, but he's not a scorer.
They look good. They look good when they go up too.
Yeah, he has the form and everything. But,
Go up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Nets are good. The Knicks are looking good.
Yeah.
Wait,
The
the Knicks had a 5-game losing spree, didn't they? They lit up for like 10, 11, and they went on like a 5-6 game losing
Yeah,
spree.
and then the Knicks gonna be the Knicks.
No, they lost. They lost 3 in a row after that 6-game winning streak. But it was some tough losses. They're competing every game. They haven't had too many bad losses, which is what I like about them.
Right.
And they're competing. And they're in that 8th spot right now. They can probably stick around. I think
so.
What's Milwaukee in this?
They're 4-3, right?
Yeah, they're 3.
Yeah, Milwaukee's 3.
Yeah,
they'll
be fine.
Milwaukee just got to be healthy.
Yeah, that's all they got to get is healthy. Yep.
We can't hear you, Coach. Say it again.
Milwaukee just got to get healthy.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't know. He's delayed or whatever.
I think he's a little delayed.
A little delayed.
We heard him.
Theater going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, what else is happening out there? I mean, we ain't talking about. I know you're trying to avoid LeBron's 40+ back-to-back nights. Nah,
he's doing his thing, and the Lakers are hanging around too.
He's playing good basketball.
Yeah.
Hanging around at 12.
Yeah, in 12 seed. They're good. And they give up 124 points a night, and they might score 121 to 130. But they playing more competitive basketball. I would say that.
And they're winning while AD is out, which is impressive. And to be honest with you, if they literally can keep this pace while he's around, they'll be in it. I mean, at least to get a play-in spot. If they can just hover around.
Well, the schedule's been nice to them in terms of their opponents, right? So they've taken advantage of the difference with them this year than last year, that they've beaten some of these other teams that are lesser than that they should be without AD. The Westbrook and LeBron should be good enough to beat a lot of the teams that they've been beating, and they've been doing it. AD just got to get healthy. I mean, they're not doing. I mean, regardless what their record is, they're not doing nothing without AD.
And even with AD, it's still.
Yeah, and it's still up in the air with AD, but they're not doing nothing without him. Everybody's going. Russ and LeBron are gonna have their. LeBron is gonna be 9-9, and Russ is gonna have 14, 11, and 8, and they're gonna look. Their numbers are gonna look good, and they're gonna be losing.
Yeah. Ain't no Charlottes in the playoffs.
Charlotte ain't in the playoffs. Neither
Coach,
is
Wizards. Point kind of this conversation. I see.
Huh?
So coach is boycotting this conversation, I see.
I don't blame you, Coach.
I'm not talking about him.
No.
But no, he's playing good basketball.
Yeah, no, it's good to see quality basketball from a 38-year-old. I can't front. Yeah, it's just kind of dope. Okay, so NFL predictions.
We're gonna go down the list.
The games this week.
This the last week 18.
Week 18.
And like I said, when we lost to the Jaguars, Cowboys went out, Eagles lose out, we still win the division, and that's
I had 2 losses for the Eagles, which they had, but I didn't have us losing to Jacksonville. I had this happening, but I didn't think either Philly was gonna lose 3 games in a row. I thought they would lose 2, and I just thought we would win out. But when we lost to Jacksonville, I thought it was a wrap.
Yeah, and that was the one. But as you can see, that was no fluke. Jacksonville's been stomping on everybody, and they're gonna get into the playoffs too.
Yeah, Jacksonville's been looking good.
Jacksonville's been looking real good.
The 2 last teams the Cowboys lost to, Green Bay and Jacksonville, both of them should make the playoffs. So
let me ask you this: do you rather be the 5 seed and play Tampa Bay on the road, or would you rather get the 1 seed and play Green Bay at home?
Well, the 49ers are getting the 1 seed.
Oh, okay, or 2 seed and play Green Bay at home. I meant to say.
Green Bay at home.
I don't know if Dallas want to see Green Bay.
I don't know if go to Tampa Bay and see Tom Brady in Tampa.
We lost to both of them, and I think that the Cowboys will beat both of them. To be honest, I'm gonna have 0 worries in the first week of the playoffs.
I just think I think Aaron Rodgers is very confident right now.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
he is, but we can't.
He's been wanting. You know.
Yeah, but we can't overlook the competition they've been beating too. They've been beating scrubs, and
I don't think they faced no real secondary in this little run they had. They ain't faced no real secondary.
Chicago, they beat and they beat Miami with Tua, huh?
When they beat Dallas.
They beat Dallas.
Yeah. That started them off.
Real secondary. You think we beat y'all? Yeah, damn.
They beat the real secondary, right? Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there, but you know.
It's a toss-up every, no matter what the combination is, what the game is, it's a toss-up. Like, I've seen Dallas go strong, have these big records, 11-4, whatever, and get to the playoffs and lose our first game.
And I thought the Vikings did exactly. I think, Cliff, you called this weeks ago that the Vikings were just
pretenders.
Yeah, they definitely were pretenders, man. And it's
the Vikings are just it's like people they'll show the Vikings like 11 comeback wins, like it's this great thing, but they're not a good team.
No.
It's like what are we talking about here? They're not good. They got good players, but that meltdown that your man had the other day was really not a good look.
Yeah.
You hit a referee with a helmet because you have one catch for 15 yards.
Jefferson.
It was just not a good look.
Yeah, they shut him all the way down.
Not a good look.
One catch for 15 yards. That was not a great day for him.
Yeah, he just had never experienced it before.
Off of somebody that you torched in the previous matchup.
Yeah, 9 catches for 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dude said that was a fluke.
And he called it a fluke. And he guess he proved it right.
Shut it right on down.
Yep, he shut him down completely. I was like, wow.
I can't remember the last week being so instrumental in everything in a long time like this. Like we really don't know anything yet.
Nope, we do not.
No, we don't. And the fact that the Giants, because they clinched, they may not even play anyone. But the Eagles still have to at least play Hurts to get that rust off them. I don't know. They
got to play Hurts. Yep.
Let me ask you guys a question about that whole strategy not having anything to play for. You got to lock in the playoffs. Do I sit my starters? Or do I rest? Or do I play like it's a regular game to try to gain that momentum going in, really know what you're working with going into the playoffs? Which one do you think is more,
I think it backfired.
You got to play, but not necessarily the whole game. You got to have them come out there and get some reps in.
Well, who you talking about? You talking about Hurts specifically?
I'm talking about any team that's in that situation.
I think every situation is different, because just talking about what Hawk just said, think about the Cowboys and the Eagles game. Okay, what do you do? I mean, because obviously Hurts haven't played. They still have the number 1 seed hanging in the balance. The Cowboys are playing the Commanders, who are playing for nothing. So both of them could still potentially get 1 seed. So do you play the whole game? And then you look at the Giants, who are playing the Eagles. They got everything sewed up. Now, you don't want to rest everybody to go in completely rusty. So you may play your starters the first half. So I think it all depends on the team.
See, psychologically, for me, a W is a W and an L is an L.
Right.
Like, and you going in catching an L. We just, whatever. You still call it L.
They had that mentality as you're trying to go towards the playoffs and win the Super Bowl.
I agree.
You got to keep you actually are ramping up towards that.
Yeah.
As opposed to
it's not the preseason anymore. It's not the preseason.
Nah.
And I think the Eagles plan backfired. I think Jalen Hurts was hurt with his sprained shoulder, but I think he probably could have played. But I think they had that 3-game cushion, and they felt like let's see where the chips lie here. And they lost that game. They're like, Minshew looked really good. We probably threw for 355. We could beat the Saints without Hurts to give them another week. And now they lost that game. And so now if they play Hurts this week and he really is hurt, they're in a pickle, right?
Yeah.
Because if he really is hurt and needs to rest, why play him, risk him injuring that again, risk losing potentially, and now you got to play the next week in the first round, right? So and if you don't play him, he's not the type of quarterback that can look like he could sit out 3 or 4 games or 4 weeks a month and come back and be business as usual. He's the type of quarterback I think that needs reps. I could be wrong, but it just feels like that for me.
But I also think he was more hurt than they were saying. So
exactly,
he might have been. But I mean, I hope. I mean, I'm not.
And he probably still is. Who's to say he's even recovered? Because if you look at the actual tackle and the injury, I mean, all of that man's weight went down on that shoulder.
It did.
I can't just see, you just recovering from that just like that. So I think he's a lot more injured than they're willing to admit, and you're going to see it. But
which puts him in jeopardy this week, right? That's what I'm saying. It puts him in a pickle this week because if you play him, you playing him because you think you need to win this game.
And I think they think they do need to win this game.
They do.
Because they do.
They do.
Because he needs that other week.
Mm-hmm.
He needs another week to heal.
Wow.
Well, it will be because Cowboys are going to beat the Commanders. I mean, they have nothing to play for. Their quarterback situation is disarray, and the Cowboys are going to play their starters at least for most of the game, just to get ready for the playoffs. So I think we'll definitely beat the Commanders. It's just a matter of
I don't know.
I'm not worried about the
NFC. NFC East matchup. Commanders.
The only divisional game Cowboys lost in the past 2.5 years is that one to the Eagles this year. They haven't lost.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the Commanders, this is their playoff game.
No, they're done. Well, they're done.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But they don't have no quarterback. When you have 2 quarterbacks that can't play, you have none.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like all that NFC East rivalry stuff. Cowboys haven't played well in a couple of weeks. I get it, but the fact that they can't decide on a quarterback in that locker room, it's like that. If the Cowboys lose to them, they deserve to go home in the first round. They probably gonna go home in the first round anyway, but they deserve to go home in the first round. They can't beat the Commanders this week. because they looked like garbage against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't look good. They did not look good at all. So,
Yep.
I'm just amazed the 49ers could end up getting the number 1 seed. I never thought that would happen.
Who the 49ers play this week? The Rams or the Cardinals?
The Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, they definitely winning that game.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Cardinals, after they lose, will fire their coach.
Oh, yeah, Clint Kingsbury, he was a 500 coach in college, but yet we thought he was going to be great in the pros.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
But
been
they
asking
re-upped
that
him.
all year.
So
They gave him that extension, him and the GM.
Yeah, but he got to go.
So what they doing in Vegas, bro? Like,
okay, that's a weird situation.
What's going on?
Well, they didn't want to have to owe Carr that $40 million, which is why they basically sat him, and he's gone. He's out there. But I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with
Devontae Adams is out
Adams now. I mean, like, yeah.
He only came there to play with Carr. That's
he has an option to come out of his contract?
Nah, but he gonna figure out something.
Yeah.
He gonna figure out something because he only came there to play with Carr.
That's crazy right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's so.
But I think Carr's defense, Carr has had the worst defense in football his entire career there.
Yeah.
They've been in the bottom end between 28 and 32 in defense. Penalties, all the negative stuff on defense. So, yeah, he's made some bad plays, but they were also in the playoffs last year because of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've always liked this game.
Me too. I like him.
Yeah. So, interesting to see where he ends up. Any idea you guys think would be a good team for him?
Giants.
Might end up where his brother was, the Texans.
Nah, the Texans, I think, gonna get that number 1 pick and go for.
Yeah, Texas going number 1. They're going
young boy from Alabama.
Okay, Young.
You think Bryce Young going first?
Yeah. After the way he looked the other day,
very good.
He looked good.
I think Carr will end up in New York.
Okay. Jets or Giants?
Jets.
Okay.
It could be either though, but Jets.
Jets. What do you think?
I think Tom Brady ends up in San Francisco.
I do too.
I think he's gonna retire.
I don't know. I don't know.
Retire.
Have the GOAT and Purdy behind him?
Yeah.
The GOAT giving the ball to McCaffrey and Debo?
Yeah. That could be good.
That's a good look for him.
With
that defense,
he could get another Super Bowl out of that one.
He could.
45.
In Kyle Shanahan's system, I think he'd be fine. You put Kyle Shanahan and Brady on the same team, two brains like that, on the field and off, that would work.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And they got a good O-line.
Yeah.
And
keep him upright, but
I think Russell Wilson gonna have a great comeback next year with Jim Harbaugh as his coach.
He looked good. He looked good Sunday.
Yeah.
They got rid of that coach. He looked good Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of it was the coach.
You
know, he looked like a football player Sunday.
What you think Lamar's gonna do?
They're gonna franchise him.
They're gonna franchise him.
They're not gonna pay him no contract. They're gonna franchise him.
Which is, I hate that whole franchise thing.
Yeah, but that number will be what, like 65 million next year? That number
I think 50 something. I think it'd be like in the 54 to 57 range for him 1 year, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So what's Miami gonna do?
They got picks too. They got picks too, and I don't know.
I think Tua should give it a break, man. You got 3 concussions in a year, and you're not.
He needs to retire. He
needs to give up. I mean, I hate to tell a man to do something like that, but dude, you headed for a bad future.
Yeah.
You know,
he just needs to retire, man. Like
health-wise,
he's going to be by his 30s. having depression, being suicidal, all kind of issues.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about like his body type and the way he's been flung around the field, the way he has, I think Tua is an example of if you have 2 concussions, I think in a year, you should have to sit out the rest of the season for your own, and you come back the following year.
Yeah,
I agree. Totally.
You know, it's just like, come on, we got to get these guys out their own way too because of who they are, right?
Yep.
So we got to put the gauntlet down and keep these guys healthy in their future.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You
And
know?
have there be some type of compensation.
Guaranteed contract. You don't lose any money. You still get paid.
right.
Because that's the bottom line. That's why they got to get guaranteed contracts.
So giving your body, and your brain to the game. Come on.
And they just doing these
In
players
his contract
so dirty.
year, right?
Yeah, this is contract year. No, next year is Tua's contract year. Next year. Yep. But yeah, I think he's personally, you can't invest in that because he's got too many medical issues going on, and the brain thing is the worst.
Yeah.
Well, you'll know where they're going, their intentions, because they got a few high picks. And
They do.
A lot of quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, they do.
So let's go down this week 18 schedule right fast. And see what we got. Chiefs and Raiders.
Chiefs.
Chiefs and Raiders.
Yep.
Chiefs.
Titans at Jaguars.
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 Jags.
Ravens at Bengals.
Bengals.
Bengals. I didn't say Bengals. I meant to say for Cliff, Bengals. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bengals. Browns at Steelers.
Now I'm officially say Bengals.
Steelers. Steelers still got a shot to get in the playoffs, don't they?
Yeah.
Yep, got a shot to get in the playoffs.
And
Mike Tomlin can clinch 9-8.
History, ladies and gentlemen. History.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Vikings at Bears.
Vikings.
After all that shit y'all talk.
Yeah, because the Bears are bailed. I mean, they on a boat.
I'm thinking they could probably
at Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago could probably get one just because is Minnesota gonna be playing anyone? Are they playing for anything?
That's true. I forgot about they might not be playing anybody.
Yeah, you know what? That might be Chicago.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago.
I'll still take the Vikings. Okay.
Patriots at Bills. Wow. Heavy.
I'm gonna go Patriots.
Man.
They need that they win in the end. And the Bills gonna have heavy hearts. And
taking the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills because I think that's gonna be what motivates them.
Yep.
Hey Cliff. Start howling.
Damn.
You got Bills too?
Yeah.
Ow! Because I think I have Bears too.
It's 2 Bears and 2 Vikings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
right. Jets at Dolphins.
I got the Jets.
I got the Jets because Jets don't have a quarterback either. But
no, I'm gonna take the Dolphins.
I'm taking the Dolphins too.
Coach, you still got the Jets?
Where's the game?
At Miami.
Oh no, I got the Dolphins.
Bucks at Falcons.
Bucks.
Cliffy?
Bucks.
Okay.
Panthers Saints.
Saints.
Panthers.
Texans, Colts.
Get the black coach. Let Steve Wilkes keep his job. Keep that job.
Panthers, Saints. Okay, we got Texans, Colts, the battle of the bottom.
I'm going Texans.
Yeah, the Texans trying to lose it, so I'm going with the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts.
Oh, because Texans they'll win and still have the worst record in the league.
Cardinals at 49ers.
Purdy.
49ers.
Niners.
Purdy.
Cowboys at Commanders.
Cowboys.
Boys.
Commanders.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh.
So is that real about the Commanders mascot is a pig named that's real? That's not
like it's like major something. Yeah.
And it made him a pig.
Yeah.
Well,
remember they were the Hogs back in the day.
Oh, right. But still.
So they played off of that, but it didn't come off right.
The Commanders gives me.
Well, he gonna have to sell that team this offseason. So
you think?
Oh yeah.
There might be another name change, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rams at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Giants at Eagles.
I'm going to Giants.
Where's the game?
In Philly.
I'm gonna go Eagles. Reluctant.
I'm going Philly.
I'm going Philly.
Oh.
Chargers, Broncos.
Chargers.
Yeah.
I'm going with my man Russell. You know,
I'm going with the Chargers.
I'm with you, Coach.
Russell got a lot to prove right now.
Am I by myself?
No, you're not.
Nah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I think the Chargers need that to get in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually they do.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
You want to change up? Chargers got something to play for?
Yeah. Gotta go with Chargers. They got something to play for.
Mm-hmm. Lions versus Packers.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I got the Lions.
I got the Lions.
I gotta go with the Lions.
Where is it? Detroit?
No, Green Bay.
Oh, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
You're the lone wolf.
I think he's gonna come up short.
If he comes up short, he's done and he goes to Miami.
Week 18.
That's picks.
I got him.
Okay, I like the top dogs.
I can finish over 500.
You gotta excuse my eyes have been determined that I have some issues, so I can't see it.
Best bets: Cowboys and Steelers. Top dogs: Patriots and Lions.
Okay, I like that.
All right. Hey, you know what we haven't spoken about? We're not going to talk about Ja Morant's Kyrie Irving sneaker.
Oh, those sneakers are nice.
Yeah, but they did Kyrie Irvings.
Oh, they're the Kyrie Irvings. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it literally looks. All they changed was the swoosh.
Well, you know, they got a team of design. Nike owns those designs.
Yeah, I just think they had the Kyrie Irving in production, and they knew Ja was going to get his sneaker, and they said, "Hey, we might as well put you on this one. It's already in production. It's going to come out." And that's it.
They might have.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all boycott Nike?
I haven't worn Nike since I had foot surgery anyway.
You haven't had I have all types. I have Nikes in my but I bought them years ago.
Yeah. I'm not buying Nikes.
Yeah.
I don't buy sneakers for like, not exotic like that.
Yeah.
But I do keep Air Max in rotation because they're literally the only shoe that fits my foot. I got foot issues. I keep Nike Air Max, and they with orthotics, they do me right.
Hey, get these Hokas. They're the shoes.
Oh man, I got hookahs. I love those shoes.
Yeah.
And
Say
I
it
got
again?
the other ones, the Ons.
Ons,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like a Q.
When I
They look
got
like a
my
Q with an N.
hookers,
Hookahs and Ons.
Hoka is when I got my foot surgery, man. That's all I wear now.
Really?
I
It's
love
like,
them
it's
hookahs,
like walking
man.
on a cloud.
They
Send me
light.
the
I
link,
mean,
brother.
they
Send
are
me the
light
link.
as a feather.
Send me a
Yep.
link, please. I need that in my life because
Oh man, they look like orthopedic sneakers though, but they.
Yeah, I mean they've come out like when I first got them. Well, now it's 2021. They only had like that one model, but now they got
Yeah.
more models. They got Gore-Tex models, hiking boots. They've
Yeah.
expanded the line, but they comfortable as shit, man.
I graduated to the old people shoes.
Yeah, man. The feet
Yeah.
gotta feel good.
Oh
Man.
yeah, so physical therapy is a wonderful thing, and I was like, listen, you should get the shoes, or you can get the orthotics. I got the orthotics, so I can swap out, and I can, so I'm not just in one pair of shoes all the time.
With the Hokas, you don't need the orthotics. It's already in them.
It's
Yeah,
already.
nice. They're nice, man. They're
Yeah.
comfortable. I mean, they're
You
real
don't have to
comfortable.
you don't have to get measured for them. You don't have to get.
Nope.
I mean, you can get your foot measured to make sure they're right, but apparently with your foot, the people told me that your foot is always a size like the big toe causes you to be a size larger than you really think or something like that. But it don't. I think they're perfect. Just get your size.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm learning feet, very important.
It's the key.
To overall health.
Yep.
Foundation. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And you should walk around barefoot on the ground, connect with the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I do that a lot. I do that often, actually.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That grounding.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, brothers. Great show once again. 91 is in the can. It's a new year. 2023 is going to bring wonderful things on all fronts. So
why don't we do this? We got JT being our special guest, but if people want to dial in, they can Facebook the email and we can dial them in so they can ask questions or chop it up in terms of the topic. Like instead of call-ins, we can have people up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, man. So we'll put that together, and 100 is creeping up on us. We 9 shows away. So look for something big in that regard for show 100, the century mark. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, brothers.
Good day. Peace. Have a good week.
Holla.